AOA Podcast, back for another episode. Oscar prediction special. Frankie C is here. You're here. I'm here.
Welcome.
We're all here. Let's go. Frankie C, we're going to go through some of the big categories here and let everybody know who we think is going to win. And as you said,
who we're rooting for, because that might not be the one that's going to win, but we'll see. We have our favorites. We do. So,
where do you want to start? There's original song, documentary, screenplay. You want to do screenplay?
Let's do the major ones. Like we'll do actor, actress, supporting for both director and movie.
Yes.
Okay.
When do we talk about Saltburn? Because I have a lot to say about Saltburn.
Saltburn.
The end?
Sure. I mean, was it even I don't think it was even nominated for the Golden Globe.
No, I don't even know if it's in any of the Oscars.
I don't think it was nominated for anything.
That movie. Saltburn review at the end of the Oscar special here. Get ready for it. Okay, here we go, big man. Best Supporting Actress, and the nominees are Jodie Foster for Nyad, Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer, Divine Joy Randolph for The Holdovers, Danielle Brooks for The Color Purple, America Ferrara for Barbie.
Okay. I would love to see the woman from The Holdovers, Divine Joy.
Divine, yeah.
What's her last name?
Randolph.
She
And
was
Divine
amazing.
Joy Randolph.
Nice Honeymooners throwback.
Thank you.
The Honeymooners with the Stars. Art Carney. All right. Yeah, no, she was great. That's who I'm pulling for. I hope she wins. She was amazing.
Agreed.
Emily Blunt. Aaron and I were not fans of Oppenheimer, the movie itself. And Emily Blunt I just didn't. Gave an okay performance. She wasn't any, it wasn't over anything it wasn't a very memorable part of the movie, her performance. Now, the other nominees, I will admit, I did not see. So I'm going to go with my gut here and say Divine Joy Randolph.
Oh, I like it. I'm rooting for Divine Joy Randolph. I think that America Ferrara will win. I actually felt that she was better than...
Really?
What's her name? Margot Robbie.
Wow.
I know. But Margot Robbie, I'm not saying she didn't do a great job on Barbie. She did. I just felt like there was a bit more range. I felt like there was a bit more heavy lifting from the supporting role in this movie than in the main role. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll give you that.
Also, I don't know. I just think America Ferrara is talented as all hell, and I feel like she's finally getting her. I think it's a big. Yeah, I think it's a big nod. I think she'll win. I also think because they snubbed the director of Barbie, that there's going to be an effort to make good on the movie.
Well, it's a different. What do you mean? What do you mean? The director of Barbie was not nominated.
Not nominated for Best Director.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget her name. That's probably part of the problem. But yeah, she wasn't nominated. I think there's going to be an attempt to make good on it. I don't know if it could win Best Picture. Possibly. I think it could. But I think this is an easy one. This is an easy one just to get. Let's just give it to America. She's been an actress for a long time. She knocked it out of the park. She made watching Ryan Gosling tolerable, which is not an easy thing to do. And Greta, thank you.
Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig. I almost said Greta Thunberg. It's been a long week. And I think it's going to be America Ferrara, although I am rooting because the only person that did as good of a job, if not better than Paul Giamatti in that movie was Divine. I thought she was
amazing.
Lovely. because again, see, it's a little different. He had a lot to do in that role. It was a lot of heavy lifting for him, but she did as well. This is not a huge spoiler, but she plays a mom, because you've learned this in the first 20 minutes of the movie, 5 minutes of the movie. She plays a mom who lost her son in Vietnam. Not an easy thing to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
she was play. Yeah, she was great. She was it was so believable, and it rang true for me, and I was very she gave an amazing performance. There were some scenes where you like your heart broke for her and you're like, holy shit. And it was terrible, but she was great. So that's where I'm going.
All right, so Best Supporting Actress, we're both rooting for Divine Joy Randolph. I think America Ferrera is going to win. You think Divine is going to win?
I'll go with Divine.
Okay, love it.
Are we keeping track of these?
Yes, we're keeping track of them. Well, I guess I'll write them down then. Yeah, that's true, because loser has to Matt Rife a couple of Hollywood executives that I befriended. So
okay,
just so you know, don't fuck around. Pick it up a little bit.
All right. Well, what does the winner get?
Don't peanut butter cups.
It's not so you're good either way. We're both good either way.
It makes things a lot more exciting. Okay, all right. You got Divine, I got America. Best Supporting Actor, Frankie C. And the nominees are Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, American Fiction with Sterling K. Brown, and Ryan Gosling and Barbie. Best Supporting Actor.
Gotta go De Niro. Not De Niro. I'm sorry. Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. I think he's gonna win.
And why?
I think he was after that movie. He was the big talk. He was really good in it, and I think that you didn't hear much about anybody else's performance except for maybe Ryan Gosling. Everybody else's performance, which I'm sure was great, didn't get the talk, the buzz, as much as Robert Downey Jr., I feel. Do you know what I mean?
This is a rarity, but I agree with you 1,000,000%. And I think I agree with you and disagree with you. When I agree with you, he did get all the buzz.
Yeah.
Buzz is all about him. It seems like he's got the inside track. And I don't know if you agree with this or not, I think he does actually deserve it. I think he was the best in this role out of everybody. He's not in the movie a whole ton, but he's brilliant. And I'll tell you why he's brilliant. You almost kind of forget it's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that's true. He did, and he was amazing. He was great in it. He gave a better performance, in my opinion, than Cillian Murphy. I thought Cillian Murphy, and I know people say this is how Oppenheimer acted. This was his temperament, but Cillian Murphy,
his scenery
performance, kind of. He was very even keeled through the whole thing. It was, the way he talked about, one thing and the nuclear bomb. It was like, get excited about, there was no range of emotion in any scene. It was just, he was always, well, I think we're going to blow up everything and it's going to be great. And we're going to, I got to get all the nuclear stuff. And I'm like, oh God, I can't just, I feel like, be sad, be happy. There was none of that. He was always very level, with his emotions. And maybe that's the way Oppenheimer was. And if that's the case, great. But then it's not a great example of great acting then. He probably did it very well, but it doesn't show any great range, in my opinion. I think that Robert Downey Jr.'s acting in that was way better.
I think Robert Downey Jr.'s acting was spectacular, but I also think that Cillian was really good. I disagree with you a little bit there because he's playing a real life character there, you know.
No, I get it, but it was all. I feel like, the way it was raining and he was outside standing in the rain and he was talking like he was inside sitting by the fire. It was like, I think it's raining out, and I was like, oh, can you friggin', you just created a nuclear bomb. I never heard him get loud, it was always the same. It was the same emotion in every scene, and it just it grated on me a little bit. No matter what was going on, it was always very, monotone and like, all right, and it was 2.5 hours of that. I was like, I can't anymore. So I was not, but maybe I'm biased because I just wasn't a fan of the movie.
Laura says Robert Downey Jr. Robin agrees. Paul points out that Robin won all the other awards.
True.
So good point. But yeah, I think it's because Robert Downey Jr. This is my personal opinion. Robert Downey Jr. is brilliant and great in everything he is, because for the most part he's playing a version of Robert Downey Jr. True. In this movie, he was not at all.
Right.
You do kind of lose him in the role because he's bald, and he just plays the shit out of it. I just thought he did a really good job on it.
I agree.
Okay, that was Best Supporting Actor. Best Director.
Best Director is probably going to go to Nolan.
And the nominees are...
Oh, sorry.
Justin Triet for Anatomy of the Fall. Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things. Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest.
Okay. My guess is going to be Oppenheimer. Is going to get.
Okay, now you hate this movie, so why are you saying this? Why are you saying Christopher Nolan best director?
Just the buzz,
just the buzz.
Whole, yeah, and I did not like the. I guess it would fall under the director's responsibilities, but I did not like the way it was directed in terms of, I mean, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but I feel like the movie was laid out in a way that but I feel like the movie was laid out in a way it didn't have to be. It wasn't that kind of a story that warranted the way the story was told. My opinion. Do you get what I mean by that?
I understand what you're saying. I definitely don't agree, and I don't know what you mean by that.
Okay, so the way the movie was told, it was told like there was this huge reveal, and it was like a whole big, oh my God, like not a twist, but like a big, everything culminated to this, fell into this whole thing. It just all came together at the end, and it's like that's not this kind of story. I don't think warranted that kind of storytelling.
What came together at the end? What are you talking about?
The way it was revealed at the end, the whole ending.
What was revealed? You mean the thing that he whispered to?
The last 30 minutes, all the questions were answered in the last 30 minutes for the most part, right? And it was like that's why they did this. Oh, it was very mysteries were solved at the end, but I feel like that's not. I didn't think it needed. This isn't a superhero movie. This isn't a mystery movie. It was very. He took the idea for another movie and turned Oppenheimer into that. That's what I felt. Do you know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying.
Without spoiling it, I'm trying not to give specifics away, but the end of the movie, I felt was very M. Night Shyamalan. Big reveal.
Oh, I
didn't see this coming. I don't know what the
big reveal is you're talking about. Do you want to say it? Everybody can tune away.
All right. Big spoiler alert in 3, 2, 1. The whole thing with what's his name? The guy that played Freddie Mercury. What's his name? In
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek. He just pops up out of nowhere at the end. He was in half a scene in the middle of the movie that everybody forgot about. And We didn't know. We barely knew what he was doing, and then all of a sudden, he's the linchpin at the end that decided the fate of everything. It's like, what? Where did you come from? Who are you, and why are you a big reveal at the end of this movie? It was a weird. I have to include one scene of him so that I could justify the reveal at the end. It was a very shoehorned reveal at the end. Yeah, that may be the way it happened, but we didn't know anything about this guy, Rami Malek, his character. And it was very like, where did this come from? Nobody, it was like, oh, he brought all this up. Oh, okay. He was responsible for Robert Downey Jr. Getting convicted. Oh, I guess so. Okay. It was a very ex machina type of ending.
I don't know. I took it the entire other way. I think when you sit down, this is one, and I agree with you, and I think Chris Nolan's going to win, but I think he deserves to win. And the reason why is when you sit down to make a film based on true events where everybody knows what happened, you have to figure out a way to make that interesting over the course of 2 hours. That's not an easy thing to do.
Well, I feel like where everybody knows what happens or doesn't know it. Like if you go, I went in there not really knowing the story, not knowing what happened. I know the basic, yeah, he made the bomb and that's what happened. I knew all that, but there was specifics like, okay, during the movie, there was that conceit of the fish bowl with the marbles in it. This is how much uranium we'll need, blah, 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 blah. They never explained how he got the uranium, and if they did, I didn't understand. It was very not clear. And all of a sudden, they just kept adding marbles. I was like, oh, I guess they got more uranium, and we don't know how. Plus, all these other people that were working on the bomb wasn't really clear. Like, I didn't care about who each person was. Their roles weren't as clearly defined as they should have been, in my opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I know we're focused on Oppenheimer, but he wasn't the only one that built this thing. And they're showing all these people, and they're like secondary, like not even secondary. They're just in the background. And it's like, oh, it'd be nice to know, I guess we know their name, but I forgot this guy, and who the hell is it? They all kind of blended into the background. I'm like, all right, I guess they all worked on the bomb, but I don't really know any of them. I can't remember a single person from that whole thing. I don't know. It seemed drawn out but not really explained.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, because you can't really. The problem is if you bring Rami Malek's character in earlier and define it, then you really see the whole thing coming.
Well, if they bring, I thought the strongest actor in the whole movie, a breath of fresh air, was Matt Damon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Matt Damon was great.
I was relieved when he was acting. I was like, we need more scenes with him because he's interesting. His character was exciting and interesting, and every time he was not on screen, I was like, all right, I guess we were all just like, I guess we're just gonna sit there, because other than, I don't know, a lot of it was boring and not needed. I feel like you could shave off at least a half hour of that movie and have the same result at the end.
So it's so funny. I disagree, because I think, okay, we know what happens, we know the ending. And I think even within that, he found ways to create suspense and make it interesting for us, while also leaving us little crumbs of like, oh, none of these guys could go on an airplane because they were afraid they were going to die, so they had to take a train everywhere. And, oh, they built a whole city in the desert out of nowhere just because they needed to work on this all the time,
I get that. And
this idea of like it was a race against time, and our enemy's going to come up with it, and do we have the smart guys, and can we trust all these people, and who's dealing with the internal strife of what they're going to do and how many people it's going to haunt. I don't know. I thought there was a lot there, that you live in that world for 2.5 hours and you kind of feel the way they feel.
I get that, but then you get sidetracked a lot. Like, it was very, as soon as you get involved in the building of the thing, and you get your nerves up and everything, and you're going, oh, this is a race against the clock. Then they take you out of it and go, well, now he's going to this party with his wife, and then there's this mistress involved, and I'm like, all right, I guess we're over
I
here.
found that interesting because in my mind, you think of Oppenheimer and you go, oh, the guy built the bomb. And then you also realize, oh, no, that guy liked to fuck too. You know, like I feel like it kind of, you know,
No,
like,
I get that.
he was kind of shitty because he had a mistress. Like, you know, you want them to be like this moral, like, I'm doing the right thing here.
No, I understand that, but it was too much of like, they could have covered that in 5 minutes, that storyline. It was like an hour of the movie. You know, he's going to these things and he's meeting these women and whatever. I'm like, okay, I get it. Just get back. And we all know why and then the bomb itself. I'm sorry. I know they used practical effects, but the sound was great. I loved, you know, the way they did the silence and then the boom. But the explosion was very underwhelming, in my opinion. It didn't look like a nuclear. You know, when you picture a classic nuclear bomb, you picture the mushroom cloud. You picture the you know, the ring of fire and smoke coming out. You know, like that. It looked like an extreme close up of a regular explosion. That's what it looked like. The sound was amazing. It like, you know, like, because it was very shocking and boom, like a jump scare sound. 100%. But when they filmed the actual explosion, it just didn't look like your classic, you know, what we're all used to, nuclear explosion. It just looked like they exploded a building and they zoomed really close in on it. That's what it looked like.
All right, there you go. Best director. I say Nolan. Frank agrees. Are you rooting for anybody else though, or? Not really.
I don't. Yeah, because the other movies I really have not seen. What was it? Barbie.
No, Barbie wasn't nominated. That was a big controversy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so it was Anatomy of the Fall was one of them, right? Tell me the other nominees.
Yeah, Anatomy of the Fall, Killers of the Flower Moon, Scorsese, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos, and Jonathan Glazer, The Zone of Interest.
All right. Yeah. See, I haven't seen those other movies. You know what? I'll just go with a random. Just from going off of buzz and whatever, I'll go with Poor Things.
Yorgos?
Yorgos.
Controversial. I had you down for Nolan. I'm going to write Yorgos. You might be blowing somebody over that decision. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on. Best Actor.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the nominees are Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer, Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction.
Okay. Who do I think will win? Cillian Murphy. Who do I want to win? Paul Giamatti. Paul Giamatti was... I love almost everything, pretty much everything he's in. And in this movie, he was endearing. He was, you know, there was so many layers to him. He really, you know, he conveyed a character to me. You know, he was this guy. Important. But with Cillian Murphy, again, he may have done the role justice, and he may have played the guy exactly how he was. But he wasn't interesting to me. He was the guy himself, very monotone and no emotion one way or the other. So it was, I'm not going to say it was easy, but I'm going to say it was not as challenging as other roles that Cillian Murphy has done, I feel.
Okay.
But I think he'll win because of the buzz.
I'm rooting for Paul Giamatti. I think it's his time. I think he was great. But I think, I honestly feel like if anybody's coming close, I don't agree with Cillian Murphy. I think if anybody's coming close, it's Bradley Cooper, because Bradley Cooper acted the shit out of Leonard Bernstein. Like, I watched that movie and I'm like, I remember like 45 minutes into it, I looked over at my wife and my father. We were all watching the movie. It was Christmas time. I looked over at my father. I go, he's hiding that he's gay. Is this what we're supposed to be like shocked with, like intrigued by? He's gay and he's just not telling anybody. Because, nowadays you're like, who gives a shit,
Right.
Back then, obviously, it was a little bit of a bigger deal.
Right.
And I don't really get heartbroken. Spoiler alert. I don't really get heartbroken over it until his daughter grows up and is much older. And his daughter comes to him and she's in college. And she's like, Dad, a lot of people in my school are saying these things about you. And he has to lie to her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm kind of like, oof, that's tough.
Didn't see the movie.
You didn't see it?
No.
And I'll tell you what makes his performance so good. It's almost not even him, but it's Carey Mulligan, because she's fucking great. Because to play the wife of a gay guy, who's, well, I'll save that for when we talk about Best Actress. But I thought Bradley Cooper is a close second, but I honestly feel like it's Paul Giamatti's time. I don't know I think that when people go to vote, they're going to feel like, I don't know if we'll ever have this opportunity to vote for Paul Giamatti again. Yeah, I feel that way. I don't know. He's going to have great roles. Listen, he's going to have great roles. He's been great in a lot of movies. He should have been nominated for the wine movie. What was that called?
Yeah.
Sideways.
That's it.
He should have been nominated for Sideways. He should have won for Sideways. He didn't. I just think it's his time. I think this is the one for him.
That'd be great. I'd love it.
Best Actress. So we're both. Oh wait, did you make a prediction though?
I think Cillian Murphy will win, but I want to see Paul Giamatti win.
Okay, so I'm putting you down for Cillian.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Best Actress. The nominees are Emma Stone, Poor Things; Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon; Annette Bening for Naiad; Carey Mulligan for Maestro; and Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay. I didn't see any of these movies, did I? Hit me again with, I'm sorry.
Emma Stone. I got you. Emma Stone, Poor Things; Lily Gladstone, Killers of the Flower Moon; Annette Bening, Naiad; Carey Mulligan for Maestro; and Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I didn't see any of these movies, but just from the buzz, I'll go with Lily Gladstone. I think she's gonna win. Just from the talks, the buzz around town.
Lots of Lily coming up in the chat as well. I agree with you. I think because she won the Golden Globe, maybe
she did,
or the SAG award, whatever, maybe both of them. And I think when you have well, they're not called Native Americans anymore. What are they called now?
I'm not sure. Don't want to mess it up. Let us know in the chat. I thought it was Native American.
Whatever the new thing is. She's an actress of that background, playing that background. I don't know if Hollywood could resist that type of wokeness, Frank.
Oh, Emma won the SAG, says Paul.
Oh, Emma won the SAG? Okay.
So who knows? I don't know.
Anyway,
probably.
Never mind. Sorry, I forgot we're in the Oscar show.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Lily Gladstone.
I think it's good. Yeah,
from what we understand.
And I hear she fucking stole that movie from DiCaprio and De Niro, which
right.
It's stealable for those two. I think not that they're not great actors, but I don't know. I think they've done it so many times. It's like, all right, somebody's going to come up and somebody's going to catch up to you and pass you by without you noticing, Even Richard Petty lost some fucking races back in his prime,
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what we have here. Although I did love Carey Mulligan in Maestro. As I said, she plays the wife of a gay guy and she keeps a secret from her family, from her children. And not only that, but she almost also becomes the third love of his life, whereas he loves conducting music and he loves dudes. I don't know what order that's in. And then it's like she's almost third place and she parades around like she's his first love. That's a tough thing to go through. Right, indigenous people. I think it's indigenous now.
Is that it?
Also said First Nation, but then he said ingenious, and I think it's indigenous.
Indigenous, okay.
I think that's what it is now. All right, so we're both going Lily.
I think so. Yep.
Okay, we're both going Lily on that one, and then Frankie C, the final category.
Best picture.
Now there's
go ahead with the things. What is
10
there, 8 of them? 10 of them.
10. Wait. 10, including The Holdovers, American Fiction, The Zone of Interest, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, Past Lives, Anatomy of a Fall, Maestro, and Killers of the Flower Moon.
Okay. I would love to see The Holdovers win, but it's going to be Oppenheimer.
Putting Frank down for Oppenheimer. I am going for The Holdovers because it's what I want to win, but here's my thought process on this. When they vote for Best Picture,
yeah,
they put it's a weighted system, so you vote what you think is number one, you vote what you think is number two, you vote what you think is number three. So it's entirely possible that a film at number 2 or 3 could actually win the nomination. Because I think Oppenheimer and Barbie will split this little ballot. I think The Holdovers can sneak up the middle.
I would love it. I'd love to see that happen.
Yeah,
that would be great. I loved that movie way more than Oppenheimer.
It was so great.
It was so good. Everybody, I recommend. You got the Frankie C guarantee here for The Holdovers. It's a great movie.
It was really
Oppenheimer.
Really good. Yeah, agreed.
Wasn't a huge fan.
Agreed. I agreed wholeheartedly.
And those are the predictions, folks. Hope
that's it.
Yeah. So the Oscars are this Sunday.
Worst movie of the year.
Worst movie.
Is there should be a worst movie award?
Yeah, it's called the Razzies.
No, that's true. I guess so. Saltburn. Let's do this quickly.
Yes.
Multiple
we gotta do the top 5.
Multiple disgusting scenes.
Yes.
Multiple. When he goes down on the sister during her period.
Right.
Unnecessary.
Right.
When the brother whacks off in the tub and then he drinks the water.
Right.
So fucking disgusting. And I'll tell you what, though, because this is disgusting on multiple levels. I'm sure there's people who love to drink semen water, and that don't make you a bad person.
No.
It's also bath water.
It is bath water.
You know what I'm saying? And that's disgusting.
Remember what Kramer said? He's like, I don't take baths. You got little microorganisms having sex all around me.
Just bathing in your own filth. And so as the brother gets out of the thing and this guy goes in to drink I'll tell you what the worst part of that scene was. Not only drinking bath water after somebody whacked off in it and took a bath in it, but he drinks the bath water and then he goes in even tighter and forms a seal around the drain with his lips. So you're literally just sucking the fucking you're not even drinking his bath water. At that point, you're just consuming the germs of anybody who's ever stepped foot in that bathtub.
I wouldn't touch my lips to a drinking fountain. Something that you could accidentally touch your lips to, let alone a bathtub drain.
I have news for you. I don't like touching my lips to glasses at restaurants sometimes, depending on the fucking restaurant. I'll be like, give me a straw. I don't care if we're going to take out a turtle today. I'm not putting my lips on your disgusting glassware, pieces of shit. So that, and then, well, the penis dancing at the end was a little bit much. But I will say, I love that song.
Dancing.
That song has really gripped me. The Murder on a Dance Floor song. I like that one a lot.
Oh, that's a good song. It's on. Yeah, I hear it all the time. It's a good song.
By far the worst scene ever was the brother, spoiler alert. By the way, this is not a spoiler alert. Saving you alert.
Yeah, this is
fucking saving you from this shit awful movie.
Yeah.
The brother dies. They have a funeral. Everybody's crying. The main character guy's crying. Then he stays behind and like falls on the dirt and like hugs the dirt because you're like, all right, he's fucking sad. Then he starts taking his clothes off and he literally starts humping the dirt. He fucks the dirt.
He does.
The guy's buried under
the grave. Yep. It's a weird fucking movie.
Anybody who was like, this is good. You don't trust these people.
No, it's artistic. Shut up.
That's not artistic. And then I go to find out, and we talked about this a little bit, that was improvised. That was not in the script. The actor improvised that.
It was not.
Because he's like, that's what I thought the character would have done. No. And by the way, he's balls deep in fertilizer before anybody could get back to a limo or a house or wherever they were. Like, everybody would have turned around and be like, why is the guy fucking the dirt?
Broad daylight. I'm surprised nobody caught him.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, very crazy. All right, let's do it. Yeah, fuck Soulburn.
All right, that's it. That is the Oscar special. Appreciate you all. Oscars Sunday. We'll be doing a little recap on Monday. Love you all. Bye.
Bye-bye.